What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our Let's Play here on the Bedrock edition. Now, I've actually completely scrapped an episode that I've recorded, and that wasn't by accident. It wasn't an error in recording. It was purely because after editing it, it was, I just wasn't happy putting it out. But I'll give you the rundown in what we actually done. We managed to get our turtle shell helmet, and we fully enchanted it up, so yeah, but it covers our eyes. I don't really like it that much. And the only benefit is that you get, I thought it was unlimited water breathing, but what it is only 10 seconds more water breathing. So as soon as you go down, the timer sort of ticks down, and then when it gets to 0, so I still had to put respiration on it. Aqua affinity, all the usual bits and pieces. It gives you the same armor amount as diamond armor. Did I say that right? It gives you the same amount as... Yeah, it gives you the same amount of armor as diamond armor, if I didn't say it correctly. But yeah, other than that, it's nothing special. I wish that they would make it so that you can make like a full set of the turtle shell gear, and then it'll give you like proper massive perks, sort of like the the conduits do. And I've got mining fatigue because there's an ocean monument over there that I wanted to quickly check out, so I'm still waiting for that thing to disappear. But I'll give you the rundown of what we done last episode. Apart from the turtle helmet, I also came over here and I tried multiple fixes to try to get this thing to work. Now, as you can see, I have half slabbed 65 blocks in every direction from that pillar there. And yeah, so like the entire... It took probably the better part of about 7 to 8 hours to do. And it was extremely just tedious swimming around. I did have a couple of conduits set up to run around and do it a little bit quicker, but even now you can see on the outskirts there's the stupid drown still spawning. So the only way I can get hostile mobs to actually spawn here is if I save and exit my world from that pillar, load it up with a simulation distance of only 4 chunks, and then when I load it up to actually turn it to peaceful and then switch it back to hostile. So that way from this pillar it will only simulate up to 4 chunks around you, which will be 2 chunks in every direction. Is it that right? Simulation 4 chunks? No, it will be 4 chunks in each direction, I do believe, which would be the 64 blocks that we've gone out half slabbing. Now that's, I think it worked out as something like 12,500 half slabs I had to put down. And yeah, it still doesn't really do the trick. And then I tried to get it so turtles weren't spawning, and initially I thought, well, maybe it's because they can spawn on grass. So I then went out and travelled, and I grabbed a load of podzol from a mega tiger biome, threw that over on the right hand side, and instantly turtles are still spawning. And then I tried a couple of other fixes where I first of all thought, well, maybe there's like a turtle spawn cap. So I decided to throw some turtles down here, and that didn't stop them. So what is that sound? Is that me in the water? Oh no, that's a fish flopping about on the farm. So then I chose to try a fix by actually capturing some turtles, and I thought, well, maybe it's because there's a passive mob cap for surface spawns, which there definitely is, and I don't know why that's a thing. But then I thought, well, maybe the turtles got their own separate mob cap for surface spawns. So then I came over here and I trapped, I think it was 2 over there and 1 over there, because the maximum I was getting was 3 spawning across the platforms. And then all of that has done is now just prevented any passive mobs from spawning, apart from fishes and squids. As you can see, there's a fish over there. So it was just like a complete episode of failures over here, and yeah, that was just a load of garbage. But then I went on back to our home base. I'll take you over there now. Now we're back over at home base. It's turning night time, which is the sort of ideal time for what I wanted to show you anyway, because I'm yet to test out to see if it even works. I spent the better portion of the episode I just recorded building... We finally managed to run around here. This contraption over here. Now, the fun and games I had building it was it was relatively simple to build, to be honest with you. The redstone behind it is literally just a sticky piston system that you can drop down. But as you can see, we've got 5 beautifully charged creepers in there. And yeah, the only entertaining part of that is this part that I'll show you now. Yep, so as you saw there, the fun and games I had trying to get these guys into their little boxes. Now, the thing that happened in that clip there was where I was leading a charge creeper backwards, the one that I had got in beforehand, I forgot to put a half slab over. I fell into his pod, he blew up, he then let out another 2 of the charge creepers either side of him, and then it all just turned to absolute dust. I had to rebuild it pretty much completely. But the reason how comes I've got them all charged up before I started recording the episode is because waiting around for storms, like you have to wait for actual lightning storms for the channeling enchant to work properly. It can't just be raining. It has to actually be a thunderstorm, and they're pretty rare as it is. So I thought that I'd go ahead, get these guys charged up, so then we could try to find a victim to get our first actual mob head. Now, I'm hoping our first victim is actually going to be another creeper, considering that I got absolutely battered by one. And yep, here's our first victim. Come on. Hopefully we can lead this guy back without him blowing us up or our little capture pod thing. But yep, it's there. Come on, guy. The weird thing is that they automatically stop if you break eye line sight with them. So going up and down hills with them trying to follow you is a bit of a pain. Come on. I don't think I've even got the trapdoors open for him yet, but we'll come to that as we come to it. Come to it as we come to it? Yeah, why not? Also, there's another thing that's weird happened to me, which is how comes there's not been many videos from me over the past, like, about 5 or 6 days. Obviously, like, the World Cup's finished now, so our England flags are down. But I have this weird thing where I tend to get really tensed up in my neck and my back. So I've got a really bad habit of clicking my neck. And then when I was clicking my neck, I've actually managed to force one of the muscles in my neck into spasm, which is now completely prevented me from being able to turn my head to the left or tilt it to the left at all. And according to my doctor, it's going to be like that for at least 4 to 5 days. So yeah, I've had that to sort of deal with. Are you really? No. Okay, this may be a little bit more difficult than I thought. Can we? Oh, I've got no blocks on me whatsoever. You're already too high. That'll work. Come on. No. No. Keeps on trying to explode. Okay, now, I don't know if this thing's going to completely blow up or not, but, yeah, we may as well give it a go. I'm going to do the closest one, purely because if it does explode the whole thing, I don't want him letting the other ones out. And I'm hoping, because they're both bobbling up and down in water, explosions when the creature or TNT's in water is not actually meant to destroy blocks, but it is meant to damage entities. So we've got a flint and steel on us because I'm fully prepared to light this guy. Really? Oh, there we go. So it did blow up the thing, but we did manage to get our first creeper head. Yay! Yeah, so how do you stop them from, like, just absolutely destroying everything? Let's just block you up. Did he get rid of... Oh, our trapdoor system's still there. But we are going to have to rebuild this thing a little bit. And... but the rest of it I'll do off camera. And let's try on our first creeper head. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's for all the times they've killed me so far. This area is littered everywhere with creeper explosions. I've tried my best to patch them up, but this massive hole over here was created by one. You've got a hole over there. There's a hole over there. Yeah, it was absolute torture trying to get this many creepers. And they're all named as well, so they won't despawn at all. So, yeah, I've fully covered all bases. I've made numerous mistakes already regarding the whole creeper system, but at least the trapdoors worked. I am going to have to rebuild it, but that will be something that I'll do in a bit. Now, if you're wondering what these netherrack things are dotted about everywhere, they are for pathways that I'm going to be doing. Now, I don't know whether or not to do a time lapse of me doing the pathways because it's going to be very, very boring, and what I may do is just build the pathways and show you the sort of progress rather than actually making a whole episode on me doing pathways. But I've sort of laid them out so I know which one's going where. So you've got a pathway spreading off in that direction. This contraption here, I actually want to make a permanent type building, but I want to design it a little bit differently. Obviously, I may build the exploding chamber out of obsidian to prevent any damage happening from it. And yeah, actually redesign the whole thing to actually hold more creepers, because having them charged beforehand is a lot easier. So yeah, as the pathways go, this one will then spread off over that way, do a little bridge over there. It's going to cut off across over in that direction, hoping that creeper doesn't see me. And then the pathway will carry on over there. You've got a torch on bit of that netherrack. And then another pathway will be coming off the left-hand side of our cathedral. It will be running around here to the entrance of our man cave, spreading off across this little river bit here. So another small bridge, and then it will meet up with the one that comes back across that direction, and they go off to our snow biome. But yeah, what I may do is actually do most of that stuff off camera. Now I've been talking for an extremely long time without any breaks, so it's sort of like killing the video time. Creeper head off, helmet on, voice break, yep, check. Let's put our first head on the wall, just there. Yay! I want to get a collection. Now I don't know if the drowned mobs have their own individual head. I don't know if zombie villagers have their own head or not. I'm fairly sure that the only heads are wither skulls, but you can get them normally. Skeletons, zombies and creepers, I believe, are the only vanilla ones. I always have trouble saying that word when I'm talking, don't I? Vanilla. Yeah, say it multiple times, it's going to help. But what I actually want to do today, because I actually wasted an entire episode doing that and the complete failures at our hostile and passive mob farm, which is now absolutely next to useless. The thing that I've got planned for us to do today, but you know what I actually want to do is that I may have forgotten a couple of chests. So let me hop over here. Have I forgotten? I didn't want you. I do actually want my... Where's my other trident? Venus, yeah, for travelling. That's the one that I want. And you? Nope. Yeah. So, what my plan is... Now, none of this stuff is duped, by the way, at all. All of my gold has been pretty much used making powered rails. And the reason how comes I've got is actually 2 shulker chests of magma blocks. Magma blocks, I don't think there would be any need for duping, considering that it is so easy to harvest in the nether. It's ridiculous. But I've got exactly 2 shulker chests full of magma blocks and 2 shulker chests full of powered rails, because I'm seeing if we can make the world's simplest guardian farm today. And yeah, so we're going to head back over in... Well, over to where our hostile / passive X-mob farm was, maybe. Don't know what the next update's going to entail. And we'll take it from there once we get over there. Okay, now we're over at the hostile passive mob farm. That's our ocean monument, which is within viewing distance of where our hostile passive mob farm is. And I am now geared up in a chest plate, so then we could just zoom over there. And we've got our turtle helmet, but I've also got a shulker box which has a conduit in. Now my plan is to actually set up a conduit underneath. This one's actually not being cleared yet. So we've still got the Eldian Guardians over... The Eldian Guardians? Yeah. Well, words today are just a real struggle for me. We've still got the Elder Guardians in there, so we've still got to take them on. But I thought if we sent up a conduit with basically infinite breathing and night vision, it will make actually going through this place a lot easier. But wow, there's a lot of Guardians over here. Not Guardian. Are they Guardians? Yeah, they are just Guardians. I want to clear out an area before he hits me with his mining fatigue. Because I want this thing set up within like relatively permanent state. Okay, there we go. Yeah, apparently you cannot have part of a generated structure be part of a conduit, which is something that I most definitely didn't know. Now at the moment we've got a tier 1 conduit. I did run through this in my last episode, which which obviously I'm not bothering to show you, so I thought I'd quickly run through it now. That's a tier 1. A tier 2 will be with another ring going around it, just the other way. So if we do one of them, do one of them, and then what that will do is then extend the range from 32 to 64. Now we've got infinite breath and we've got night vision. Already drowned on my case as well. So now we've got the infinite breath and night vision, the underwater night vision, and we've also got the quicker mind speed. So happy days there. We're going to need some more prismarine, please. Don't float away. To make this into a tier 3 one is that you pretty much just have to completely encase it. So do one of them, do one of them, like so. Go. Oh, really? On my face. Getting attacked by them more than I am the Guardians at the moment. Oh no, talk of the devils. And I'm just hitting them with my bow. Oh, they have a lot more health though, don't they? Like that. Then bring these sides up. And then I'll show you what happens when you actually reach a tier 3 one. Sorry, I just stopped talking there for a second. It's really hard for me sometimes to sort of build while talking and think about both at the same time. I think it's quite hard for a lot of people. Usually I have like what I want to say planned out beforehand. But today's just one of them days where it's just like, well, I'll just hit record and sort of see what happens. But when you get a full tier 1, is this it? Nope, the corners need to be filled in as well, but it's alright because the mining fatigue is sort of counteracted by the mining speed given by this. So we're going to need to fill in all of the corners as well. Just make it a big box of prismarine. Or like so. Have we got any more? Yeah, we do. Get back into here, and then what happens is that when it's a full tier 1, you'll get that eye shape come up. Now when it's a full tiered 1, any mob that comes within 8 blocks of it will actually start automatically getting damaged by it, and also it gives the benefit of its effects being a circular distance around it of 96 blocks, I believe it is. It's 3 lots of 32, so yeah, 96. But that's how far it goes, which is awesome. And oh, that is it now actually damaging one of the drowned outside. And he's killed it, so happy days, we go back out. So it's got to be that full structure for a tier 3 one. So we're going to keep it as a tier 3, so it stretches everywhere inside the ocean monument. So we can go and slay these guys without worrying about night vision or water breathing potions. So yeah, I'm going to swim around, take out these guys. I'll probably bring you back for each one. Oh, hello dolphin. You coming with me? And here's number 1. Block ya. Get wrecked. Okay, so that's number 1. Here's number 2. And he's running away. There's number 2. Number 3 should now be just at the top, I do believe. And even with mining fatigue, we can sort of just bust our way in there. Doesn't take 2 seconds now. This dolphin's been following me the entire time, by the way. And here's number 3. And there's number 3 done. Happy days. So I'm going to wait for this mining fatigue to sort of drop off. And is that dolphin still following me? I'm probably going to have a look around in this place, see if I can't find a sponge room, whilst I wait for this thing to wear off. Okay guys, I didn't manage to actually find a sponge room anywhere, well, as of yet anyway. But my next plan is I'm going to keep our conduit there. Now, I'm actually going to tear this entire thing down. And what I'll do is that whilst actually tearing it down, I'm going to be using the blocks to sort of build a perimeter around it, just around the actual supporting legs, just so that I know where the border of the actual structure is. And yeah, basically to confine any guardians that do spawn within the actual confines of this area. And I'm hoping that I should get enough blocks from this place to actually build it up high enough to prevent them from swimming out anywhere. Now, I was initially thinking about doing a third-person time-lapse of this, but trying to get my second character somewhere safe that he wasn't going to have to be looking through glass the entire time. But I'll see what I can do. Let me see what sort of viewpoint I can get. So he has to be within the active distance of our conduit. So if I was able to get him, say, about here, in maybe a little glass box or something. Yeah, well, I'll see what I can do about that. But for now, I'm just going to sort of have another look around for a sponge room, get my box back now that the mining fatigue's gone. And I'm going to set up sort of like a little staging area just up here, somewhere safe to put a bed down for a respawn point and whatnot. So yeah, I guess I'll catch you back in a bit. And we're back, guys. Now you can probably tell that I did go ahead with a third person time lapse. Unfortunately, our cameraman did have the unpleasantness of getting killed a few times by drowned. Whenever I went off to collect resources to build the farm, he ended up getting attacked by drowned, and he died about 3 or 4 times during the recording of it. But in total, it took around about 4.5, maybe 5 hours to tear it all down and actually build this farm. And it is working relatively well, except for the spawns are extremely weird. By that I mean that they're not spawning in the entirety of the farm itself. They only seem to be spawning on this corner, just these 2 pillars. Initially, when I had just magma blocks here, I was getting no spawns, which made me really worried, like another failed attempt. But then I put up these sort of column things going across, and as soon as I'd done the first one, they started spawning straight away over in this corner. But then, yeah, that's I keep on getting loads of other creatures swimming in there and dying as well. But it is only in that one corner, and I don't know why that is at all. Like, I've AFK'd at this farm for probably the better part of about 6 or 7 hours just to test it out. And as you can see, straight away, we've got another one that spawned directly on top of that pillar up there. I've got a little water thing here that we could get our night vision back from the conduit to have a proper look. So he'll sort of swim down, he'll die, and then you'll get another couple spawn. And then they'll get sucked down as soon as they come off of the pillars. They'll die, items will get picked up, and it only seems to be in that one corner that they're spawning. And I honestly cannot figure out why that is. Now, I'm not sure if the bounding box of the actual ocean monument was wrong compared to where the ocean monument had spawned in. But yeah, I'm only getting them spawn in that one area there. Which means the farm isn't next to useless. Like, in worth of like 6 hours worth of drops, I've actually sorted out an item sorter and an item collection system. I've got my trident here, so then we can actually fight the magma blocks a bit to get out of there. It's a little bit dangerous. I got caught down there and almost died because I boarded it in with a 1 wide high rim going around the top of the magma blocks. I've left it open as well, and that is so other stuff can swim in, because we are getting other spawns like squid, salmon, normal fish, dolphins, and they drop, what is it, like bones and ink, and the salmon drops and whatnot. But yeah, it's like I said, it is literally just in this one corner over here that they seem to be spawning, which has got me a little bit baffled. I could understand if it was low spawns or no spawns, because as you can see, we've got drowned mobs absolutely everywhere around here. Which means it's led me to the conclusion that the Guardians clearly have their own separate sort of mob cap. And I'm not sure if it's working in the sense that when it's checking for Guardian spawns, if it's like a maximum of 4 Guardians that can be spawned at any one particular time to sort of fill the cap, that they're first checking this first chunk over here before checking the rest. And as soon as it checks that chunk, realises there's no Guardians there, it will spawn them there. But then when it checks the rest of the actual bounding box, that because them ones have spawned, it will then sort of neglect spawning anymore. And I'm fairly sure that if we manage to light up all of this area along the ocean floor around it, we'll probably increase the spawns dramatically. Ow, get out my face. Stupid drowned. They killed my cameraman about 4 times. Yeah, it was not fun and games, but I'll show you the changes that I've made down here. We've got a line of repeaters which will activate our hopper minecarts. This is an easy switch for me to turn it off and on. We've then got a dropper spitting into a soul sand elevator which leads up to our sorting system. I've had to actually clear this little 3x2 area out of water just so I could get the redstone clock in there. So then it will automatically dispense anything that's put into it. And then we'll go up to our collection system. And very slowly, there we go. I've not put any item frames up yet. I need to go over to our other farm, which is actually within view distance of this, I do believe. Yeah, it's just over there. So I need to go over there to get some leather to make some item frames. But within 6 or 7 hours worth of AFK in, it's not been bad as a drop wise. I've got that much prismarine, that much of the crystals. We've got ridiculous amounts of fish building up. We've got salmon in that one, bones in that, getting loads of ink from squid swimming in, and then this is just where I've accidentally dropped stuff or the drowned have died. The gunpowder, I think that may have come off our cameraman when he died. But yeah, all in all, it's not actually going too bad, considering that it only took me about 4 to 5 hours worth of build time. And in the past, Guardian farms, the last Guardian farm I built, I think within... Where are you going? You're swimming out of the bounding box. Go back. That's what they usually do. They will swim ever so far out, and then they'll start heading back towards the bounding box. So I think they're like pre-programmed to head back towards the ocean monument, as to not venture too far out. And then he'll slowly swim. He'll kill loads of stuff like floating up to the surface as well. But yeah, as I was saying beforehand, like Guardian farms, the last Guardian farm I built took me a total playing time of probably about 30 to 36 hours. And that was collecting sand, filling in the area for the ocean monument, building the perimeter wall, getting rid of all the sand, tearing down the monument, and then building the actual farm itself. Was about 30 to 36 hours, the last one I built. And that's in one of my previous worlds. Oh, poor dolphin. There's no way he's getting out. Sorry, pal. Yeah, so as for this farm design, 6 to 7 hours and getting that amount of drops isn't bad at all as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm quite happy to leave my character overnight AFK and every now and again. And the only reason that I really want these drops is for the sea lanterns in order to light up the area surrounding our other hostile and passive mob farm. And I'll probably do the same for this as the drops gradually build up. I'll do layers of the lights to get rid of these stupid drowned mobs. I really am hoping they bring in a separate spawn cap for these guys, because they're just breaking everything of mine at the moment. Get lost. Yeah, this trident, the one with the riptide, definitely comes in handy when building it. And as for this farm design, it's definitely good in the way of how easy it is to build, considering that you can lay the minecart track and put minecarts underwater. You can now lay repeaters underwater without it being an issue. So the entire setup of it, and having the conduit active in this area, it was very, very easy to build. It's just it was one of them sort of grindy builds that it was very, very repetitive, which is how comes the time lapse of it, although it was about 5.5 hours worth of footage, I was able to collapse down into about 2.5 minutes, I think it was, because it was just very basic and simple. Tearing it down was probably the funnest part of it, and then the rest of just the laying out of everything was just very repetitive. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today. So I think this episode's actually dragging on a bit now, considering that we played around with the creepers and we've managed to get a monumentously large farm done and out of the way with for any of our future needs. Hopefully, with an update coming soon enough, they will fix the spawning of the drowned, because I've checked on the Reddit forums as well. Loads of people are running into issues with different type of farms, and it is all revolved around the drowned taking up mob caps, and they're wrecking everything pretty much at the moment. They're quite a nice addition, but the way they've been implemented is a very, very bad way that it's managed to just destroy the sort of mob caps that you can get. But yeah, on a positive note, we've now got a working Guardian farm up and running, so I'll probably do another night or so AFK session over here, see if we can't light up the area around that, well, not that farm, that farm. I'm pointing at a random island for some reason. Light up the area over there to hopefully get some hostile spawns over there, because I really need gunpowder. I really miss playing with TNT and fireworks. It's all that I want to do. It's so upsetting. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully it hasn't been too all over the place for you. But yeah, I'll hopefully see you all in the next one. Bye bye.